Stampers and Crafters. My name is Tami White from stampwithtami.com, and today we are going to be watercoloring a beautiful card. I'll be teaching you how to do a little bit of card making today. Originally, this card was designed by Esther Wilburn. We shared it on the Stampin' Scoop, the Easter episode of the Stampin' Scoop show, and it was so popular. I was like, oh, we have to make this card. And it was originally scheduled to do to make this card as a regular how-to video, a pre-recorded video for you guys on Saturdays. I normally do that. Unfortunately, I got a little sick this week. I am feeling much better, in case you were wondering, and I just didn't get it done in time. So I thought, well, you know what? I don't want the card to go to waste. I still want to make it for you guys, so let's do it live. So this was a little unscheduled live, a little bonus, and as always with my lives, we have some bonus giveaways. So I'm just going to pop in here. Oh, welcome, you guys. Wow, you guys are awesome. Look at everybody's on board already. Karen, Rosemary. We've got Floyd, Carol. Just welcome, everybody. Very excited to see you guys here. Some of the giveaways that we have for today's episode are the Basket for You stamp set. I'll be drawing live at the end of this episode. And the Pop of Paradise stamp set that I'll be drawing live at the end of this episode. And all you need to do to enter is leave a comment. Now, after I do these live drawings, I have one more. I call it the after live drawing. For those of you who missed the live or just didn't win, if you were live, if you leave a comment, you'll be entered into the after live drawing to win another Basket for You stamp set and the much coveted Celebration Glimmer paper. I'll be doing the drawing for these on April 3rd. To enter to win, again, just leave a comment here. And if you share this live broadcast or the after live broadcast on Facebook and leave a comment that you shared it, I will enter you twice into this drawing for the bundle here, the after live bundle. So that's just a little added perk there. So welcome aboard, all of you that are popping on now. I see Debbie and Lisa and Kim. Great to see you guys. Before we get started stamping and watercoloring, just a couple of quick recaps in the stamping world. The Paper Pumpkin kit for April is the special edition kit that Sarah Douglas, the CEO of Stampin' Up, has designed. There's going to be a special gift in it, as well as a sneak peek of a new ink color that will be coming out. We went over the ink colors that are retiring on our last live, so you can go back and catch that if you missed it. But there'll be a new one of the 5 new ink colors revealed on this kit. You need to sign up by April 10th. So the information on how to sign up is on the link on this video. Oh, thanks for sharing, everybody. Wow, you guys are awesome. I love you guys. You're like right on this morning. Thank you, Rosemary and Sandy and Janet and Karen and Joyce. Awesome. And Deborah, love it. So one more quick thing on the Paper Pumpkin. If you got to sign up by April 10th to get the special edition kit from Sarah, but if you sign up by March 31st and do the 3-month subscription, you get a little sale price and you get a free Celebration product, because Celebration is actually ending on Friday. This Friday, March 31st. Yes, the last minute crunch is on and you guys are on it. OMG. I posted earlier this week about 7 new products being added to the product line that you can get free with a $50 order with Celebration. These are the final days. Stampin' Up. Some of the stuff was starting to sell out, so Stampin' Up added 7 new products. And guess what? You guys were so on top of this. Some of those products have already sold out. That's how popular this has been. Amazing. So this is what is left, and I recommend that you hurry, because even this stuff, and this great stuff, it is selling out as well. So this stuff, some of it could even be today. I don't expect the 2 remaining papers to last very long. So anyways, that is what's happening. You can get one of these free with each $50 in orders in my online store, which you can get to from my stampwithtami.com blog. So that's the excitement in the news. Now, are you guys ready to do some stamping? I'm ready to do some stamping. All right, so let's pop down here to the table, and what we've got going on here is we're going to do some watercoloring on the Easter Messages stamp set. Just a quickie for those of you who may not be familiar with my PDFs. You can download the free PDF on my blog at the link in this video description. It has all of the measurements on it, as well as the QR code. So if you purchase these supplies and want to make the card later and need to go back and find the video real quick, you can either scan that with your smartphone, or if you don't have a smartphone, you can go to the URL on this as well. So quick way to find it. I've got the complete supply list on here as well, and they're all available in my online store. So that's just a little bonus, and it's nice to save those. This is the stamp set we'll be using today. This is from the Occasions catalog. And we're going to be just, the card itself is just absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. Esther did an amazing job with this. So we're going to start with our stamping. The first stamping of the focal points, I'm using the StazOn black ink pad because we're going to be watercoloring fairly wet. I like to use the StazOn when I'm doing some wet watercoloring. So I'm going to start with the cross and the words. Hey guys, I see a bunch more of you just popped on. Welcome. Okay, so I've got a StazOn ink pad, and this is watercolor paper from Stampin' Up. This is in my online store. So I'm just going to stamp the cross down on the watercolor paper in the StazOn ink pad. And then I've got some, this is actually very vanilla, but you could also use the watercolor paper for this too. I'm just going to leave that lid out so you guys can see the ink pad. So the words are, he is not here, he is risen. And this is a passage from Matthew in the Bible. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a little hint here. You see it? It's okay. It's not a terrible impression here, but it's not awesome. Like, it's lighter on the bottom than it is on the top. I'm just gonna flip it over and do it again because our paper has two sides, and I just felt like doing it again because it was fun to stamp. There we go. Nice and dark there. Much better stamp image. So it's always nice that the paper has two sides. Okay, so next up for the stamping, I've got a very vanilla panel. Again, these measurements are all on that PDF. I'm using Old Olive ink and Sweet Sugar Plum because Sweet Sugar Plum is fun to say. Oh, I love you, Mary. Mary says, I think I just shared this twice. That's awesome. Well, I love you back twice. Okay, so now these two images are also in the same stamp set. They're just it's a beautiful Easter lily. I'm gonna just stamp it on the back. This is gonna be like a little soft background peeking out from behind our focal image, and the other one is Old Olive with the palm leaves. Okay, so Robbie's asking, could we use Whisper White on this? Sure, you can. Absolutely. The watercolor paper itself only comes in the one color. Our watercolor paper only comes in the one color, but you can watercolor on Whisper White. It is possible. I love using the watercolor. I'm sorry, I was down a little bit there. I love using the watercolor paper when doing especially this type of watercoloring, but you absolutely can do it. And you can watercolor on the very vanilla as well. So that was a very good question. Thank you for asking that. Okay, so I'm just going to put the background aside for a sec. And next up, we're going to do our watercoloring. So I've got our image here. So I took the ink pad refills, and I'm sorry, I did this a second ago before I went live, and one of them bled on me. So what I've got here is soft suede. I've got the Sweet Sugar Plum that we just used the ink pad for, and oh, I got crushed curry, but Daffodil Delight is what I meant to grab, but it's okay. It'll work. So, actually, no, maybe I meant to grab crushed curry. I might have just written the wrong color down. It's okay. Both are good choices for this. These are the refills that I use to ink up the ink pads. For example, I originally bought this Sweet Sugar Plum to keep my Sweet Sugar Plum ink pad refilled. But I'm also I find it makes a really nice color here when we're watercoloring. So I just put a drop of each color out here. And what I'm using is the lid to an old embellishments container, you know, that has all of our little embellishments in it. So just an old one I just flipped over, and we'll clean it out. And while I was like showing that off to you guys, I got some of it on my little thumb here. So a little tip, always carry my wet ones in my stamping room just in case. Oh, because stuff happens, right? Okay, so next up I've got the, this is an aqua painter. Stampin' Up sells these in my online store. It's got the brush tip end. I'm just going to put the cap on the back here. It's filled with water. You actually can just fill it with tap water, so it's kind of like your water container and brush all in one. And then you just kind of squeeze this to control your water flow, which I like to test out on scrap paper before I get started. Now I'm going to start with the cross. So I'm taking some soft suede, And I'm starting on the left-hand side of the cross and just kind of pulling the color all the way down. And then I'm going to pull it over to the right-hand side. So it's going to be a little, I personally want it darker on the left than I do on the right. And then you can layer to get it a little bit darker. Isn't that beautiful? I just love the effect of that. So easy too. The thing with watercoloring is it's okay to go outside the lines. You're not tied to the you're not tied to the lines like you are if you were doing markers. You'd want to kind of stay inside, but here you have some creative freedom and you can play and you don't have the same pressures that you do with the marker world. So here I'm just gonna, again, the same as I did with, I'm just gonna highlight the top of this cross a little bit and then down a little bit on the left hand side just to make it a little bit darker. Now, you want this to dry. It's going to take a minute or two to dry. I'm going to go ahead, just wipe off that color and continue on with the sweet sugar plums. So if this, it may bleed a little bit because my cross was wet. But if you let it dry, you shouldn't have a problem with that. So we're just going to go ahead and pull the sweet sugar plum on this cloth. Oh, I love this cross. I love the image. It's so pretty. Yes, somebody is asking if you do not have the ink pad refills. That is actually a really good question, Robbie. She wants to know if you can squeeze the ink pads. Let me show you how to do that real quick while I'm waiting for the sweet sugar. I'm going to just put another coat, layer a little bit more sweet sugar plum in a couple of places on here, and then I'll show you how to do that while this dries, because that is an excellent question. But you really, when you buy an ink pad, it's a good idea to get a refill for it, because you always want those. You never want your ink pads to run dry. Now, some beautiful things about this watercolor paper, I don't know if you noticed, but I can pull the color around if I don't like the way it's drying. It just gives me a little bit of creative freedom. Whereas if I'm using Whisper White or Very Vanilla that wasn't made for watercoloring, but can be, you can put ink on it. It doesn't quite have the same freedom to fix some errors. So if you don't have a refill, here's a little tip, and Robbie was just asking about this. Take your ink pad, squeeze it while it's closed. These are, made to store upside down like that. And when you squeeze it, you're going to get a little pool of ink on the top, and then you can just pick up that ink with your brush and paint with it that way. So that's just another tip there. Get some mileage out of your ink pads. Carol, welcome back to stamping. She says she just got back into stamping and can't wait to watercolor. Okay, so what I've got here is the cross, and what Esther did with hers that it makes it stand out was she highlighted around the cross, almost like the sun is shining behind the cross. And she did that with the crushed curry is what we got today, so that's what we're using. And I'm just blowing on this for a second so it doesn't bleed. I want it to be a little bit drier than it is because mine's kind of wet. Karen says the shimmery white paper is also a really good choice for watercoloring, and you are absolutely correct. The shimmery white is an excellent cardstock for watercoloring on. So I'm taking the most concentrated, darkest color right around the edges of the image, and then I'm going to pull that out so it softens the edges a little bit, but I want it to be darkest right around our image. Oh, isn't that beautiful? It just makes this cross just pop. And it's just really around the cross, so I'm not going to go around the edges of the cloth. I love how she did this coloring. I gotta tell you, when I'm watercoloring, it's very therapeutic for me. This is like my zone. And, it's like I'm talk, and then all of a sudden I'm quiet. It's like all of a sudden I got in my zone. It's just so like, oh, I love it. I love coloring. It can make you be a kid again, but with a purpose, right? Okay. Karen says, you're doing really good with your little left hand. I am left-handed. True story. There. Okay, so our cross is done. Just a beautiful, beautiful, just pops right out at you. Love it. Love it. Next up, we are just going to do a little punch here on our banner tail. So we had already stamped the words on our vanilla strip and then our black strip. Again, these measurements are on that free PDF that's on the URL in this video's description. I'm using the triple banner punch here. Love this punch. Now, I'm going to take this and then I'm just going to kind of slide it in the middle and then slide it. I just turned it upside down so I can see the back to pop off the tail. There we go. So we've got one banner tail, and then we're going to do the exact same thing with the black. Just slide it right in the middle and then turn it around so you can see the back. Just make sure it's straight and pop that. Two perfect banner tails. Yay! Love that punch. So we're going to go ahead and do some assembly. So for the assembly, I'm using 2 adhesives here. Well, actually 3. I may have only put 2 on the sheet, but I'll be using snail adhesive, which is a double-sided tape, and Stampin' Dimensionals, which are foam pop dots. So for our main base layers, I'm just taking some snail adhesive and putting that down. Joy says she wishes she could watercolor that good. You know what? It's actually easier than it looks. And sometimes we're more critical of our own work than other people when they look at it. Like I might look at mine and go, I don't like mine as much as Esther's. And you might look at yours and go, oh, I don't like mine as much as Tammy's. But you know what? Everybody else looking at yours is going, oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. So those are just snail adhesive. And then these panels are going to be snail adhesive as well. These middle, I'm just sticking the middle pieces together with snail adhesive. And then the banner tail pieces with snail adhesive. And I find the watercoloring, I mean, everyone comes out slightly different and they're all beautiful in their own way. Okay, and then we're going to use a little snail adhesive on this piece right here. Just stick that to the... Oops, I didn't get that on there too straight. Here's a beautiful thing about snail adhesive, in case you didn't know that. Before you press down, make sure you like it, and if you can lift it back up again if you need to. Repositionable if you don't press down too hard first. And then press it down really good so it stays down. Okay, so now these panels will attach together with the Stampin' Dimensionals. So I'm just going to put 4 on the back of our cross and then 4 on the back of the banner. And stick them together. Mary Ann, do I ever use fast fuse? I actually prefer the tear tape to fast fuse. It's a personal thing. They're both awesome. Some people love the fast fuse and some people love tear tape and some people love both. Personally, I'm a tear tape person. The fast fuse and I haven't seemed to get along too well. So I just go with it. They're both great strong adhesives, so I tend to go with that one. Okay, so I'm just going to stick that one a little bit to the left. Then we're going to put our words overlapping. And the last piece here, now this is a Celebration product here. You could sub out something else if you're watching this after March 31st, because you're only going to be able to get this until March 31st, but I have a feeling this is going to sell out before then. This is the metallic ribbon. It comes in gold and silver, but it's, again, while supplies last, and I'm thinking these are going to go within the next couple of days. But I took this and just tied it in a bow, and through the magic of Facebook Live, ta-da, there it is, all done for you. And then I'm just going to take a mini glue dot and stick that on there. And that's just going to go right there on that corner. And the card is complete. There it is. Just absolutely beautiful. Love the watercoloring. Again, so you can see mine and Esther's, and you can see they're slightly different. Everyone's going to be slightly different. And oh, thanks for the heart, you guys. I love the hearts. Oh my gosh, that's like, you know, like Facebook Live's wave applause. You guys rock. Absolutely love it. So don't forget, you can download this free PDF on my blog at the URL above, and it's got all the information on it. And you can keep these in a little binder with all the rest of the free PDFs I have on my blog. You guys got about, I don't know, less than a minute for the live drawing. So don't forget, if you share and type that you shared, you have to type that you shared, you'll be entered twice into the afterlive. So right now I'm drawing for the Basket of Love and the Pop of Paradise stamp sets. Good luck to everybody. If you win, you can go to just click on the link above and click Winner Circle and fill out the prize redemption form, and I'll get these right off to you. Okay, so I'm going to pop on over here to our little drawing connection, and we're going to pick a winner. I'm going to start with the Pop of Paradise stamp set. Good luck, everybody. And the winner of the Pop of Paradise is, wait for it, drum roll. The winner of the Pop of Paradise stamp set is Sandy Pittman Perry. Congratulations, Sandy. Well, that's cool. And the winner of the Basket for You stamp set is, let's see, one more here. Going. And that winner is Chris Watts. So Chris Watts won Basket for You, and Sandy Perry won Pop of Paradise. Congratulations, everybody. Now, I have one more drawing. If you didn't win, don't worry. The Afterlive will be drawn on April 3rd. You'll all be entered in to win that. And if you share, make sure you type that you shared. You'll be entered into that one twice. And that is for the Basket for You stamp set and the much coveted sold out Celebration Glimmer Paper. All right, you guys, I'm glad I got to do this video today. I was really sad when I didn't get it done in time. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back here on Tuesday with Linda for the Stamp and Scoop show, and we're very excited about that. I should have the video schedule up within the scheduled video within the next hour or two on Facebook, so you can actually click on that to get your reminders and to come right in. All right, guys, thanks, and have a great weekend.